2025, the first month is halfway over for the most part. And you guys are all crushing your goals, right? Everybody should be. New Year's resolutions usually don't start to fade away after 2 weeks. So hopefully you guys are all on track there. Daniel, let's get going with it and get with the slides. What's going on with the we are, if you guys have anything to donate, so help us support victims of the wildfire. So if you have things like clothes or socks, underwear, personal toiletries, diapers, food, gift cards, water, blankets, towels, that would be great if you could donate. When it comes to a lot of the clothes stuff, though, especially, let's try to make sure that we're donating newer things. Old socks, probably not a good thing to necessarily donate. So do what we can to help out, because this does directly impact us, even though we're not necessarily in the middle of all of that. I know we all have a lot of friends and family members and people that have been affected, and then we have agents, fellow KW agents, as well as just agents in our community that are affected by a lot of that stuff as well too. So let's do what we can to show up in force and go out there and support our people, right? And again, when I say our people, not necessarily just KW people, but real estate agents, our fellow real estate agents as well too, because there's going to be a hard process. I was talking to Maureen about this a little bit. It's not just the fact that you lose your house and people that are in our community, our real estate community, right? I potentially lose where I live, but then now my business is being affected too, because the product that I sell, what am I going to go out there and sell if I'm, let's say, for example, I'm an agent in Pacific Palisades, I got nothing to sell because it's all gone, right? And so it's going to take a while, not just emotionally, physically, from business standpoint. We're going to have a lot of people that are in our community that are going to be deeply affected by a lot of this stuff. So the more that we can help in any small way that we can is going to be much appreciated, I know. Okay. Cool. And just so you guys know, KW Cares, if you guys want to donate money to KW Cares on like closings, things like that, they are getting significant money out to the KW community of agents that are being affected as well too. And then they do have a thing here for the KW store. You can order this T-shirt, which basically says "Real Estate Strong," and it's basically they're going to a portion of the proceeds are going to go to KW Cares and will be directly brought back to the people being affected by the wildfires as well too. Okay. So if you wanted to go and support the cause, you can go and order that T-shirt there. Okay. All right. Also wanted to give a big thank you for all of you guys that helped or maybe donated some coats to the coat drive at Christmas time for Heraldine. 99 coats were collected and to people that were in need. So you guys all helped make 99 winters a little bit, right? So great job. All right, tell us something good. A lot of negativeness kind of stuff over the last week or so with everything that's happening here locally. What's some good stuff? Woohoo! Great job. Yeah. Yeah, makes it a little bit tough, but I'm sure that they understood and you understand and all that other kind of stuff too. The seller did not understand. All right. Yeah, he's like, I don't care what's going on in your world. I want to close, man. Give me show me the money, right? All right. Well, congratulations on that. And so you represented the buyer, right? And that was what you got. What was your commission on that one again? 4%. Right? for those of you guys that think that maybe, hey, you know what, I'm going to have trouble with a lot of this NAR settlement stuff and getting people to pay. She told her buyer, I charge %. That's what they signed for, and that's what she got paid. All right. All right. Anybody else? Something good. We need good news in our, and it doesn't necessarily have to be about real estate. Anybody have any good vibes that have happened? I'll share one. My wife has been having some medical issues. She had a procedure 2 weeks ago, and then last week she went to the doctor to get the results from the labs that they ran from when she did the procedure. And good news, everything was benign, and wife is in great shape. So I'm really thankful and happy about that. Because that's been weighing on me pretty hard for the last like month and a half or so. Been a little bit on stuff, but everything's good. Anybody else before we move on to the next slide? Yeah, Betty. Yeah. Yeah, definitely very lucky in that particular sense. Unlucky and lucky at the same time. And you know, we're just all really glad that she's on the mend, and for sure. All right. Well, anybody else before we move on to the next slide? Cool. All right, Daniel, let's roll. Minnie is not here right now, but basically, if you want to text Minnie a little bit later and just wish him happy birthday. So our OP Minnie, it's Minnie's birthday today. Oh, 19th. Okay. That's right. That's right. So on the 19th, he's turning 19 on the 19th. So we were going to wish him happy birthday, but he couldn't make it in. So maybe on the 19th, if you want to all shoot him a quick text and say happy birthday, because we appreciate all that Minnie does for us as well. Yeah, let's hear it. So he's not here. So all right. That's probably the best one, I think. Definitely a character, right? All right. So happy birthday to Minnie on the 19th. And we got cake for him, but we're not going to like let it sit. So you guys can all eat birthday cake, I think, today. That would be even really great. Having cake for your birthday, Minnie, wish you were here. And we should do a big shot with that. All right. All right. So needs and wants. What are some, do you guys have any buyers that have particular needs, or do you have any coming soon listings that you guys want to share? Yeah. Anybody have any info on that?
How to.
They have their stuff on the website, but there's no pricing or condition. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll asking around, see if anybody can get some information on that. All right. Anybody else coming soon or a particular buyer want or need that you're working with? Yeah, Sandra. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And roughly about what the price is, the 619? Cool. Michelle, did you have, were you gonna raise your hand too?
Yes. I do try to have 2 yards, but preferably, but.
And then how big is it? Okay, cool. So if you have somebody, I'm talking to home. So if you guys have somebody looking for a lease, Michelle has a great lease in the Walteria area, and 3-bed, 1-bath. And then that was 4,200, you said? About 4,200 a month. Okay. Anybody else have a buyer need or a coming soon listing? All right, let's keep rolling then, Daniel. Quote for today: perseverance is not a long race, it is many short races, one after the other. Walter Elliott. What is it? How do you think that relates to our business right now? Huh? A great deal, right? It relates to our business a lot because we got to persevere. We got to look at things as, hey, there's not this one big project that we do and it gets done, or kind of like what we were talking about a little bit earlier, Maureen. I can't necessarily go out there and do this big marketing campaign once and then it's done. It's more of a series of races that don't really ever end, right? Which kind of sucks when you think a never-ending race. But business, we want to make it a never-ending race because we want to continue to get paid. We don't want to necessarily stop. So there's not really an end date here. And so that's why I think one of the lessons that we can learn from that is if we realize that we're in a marathon that is a never really ending race, we don't need to kind of like prepare for this end point. It's more of, hey, how can I create really consistent short races in order to keep running, right? Because at the end of the day, consistency is what's important. In this business, or really business, we got to on it. We got to continually be refining it. We got to continually be making it better, and that's what's going to ability to have a long-lasting business. Okay. All right, Daniel, next one. We got quite a few that are on tour today. So it looks like real estate is back in PV because this list was looking pretty short for a couple of weeks there through the holidays. Looks like we have a couple of properties. Stephen has one on El Concho Lane. I know that that's been on the market before, but let's go out there and make sure that we're supporting Stephen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go and let's go and take a look at it again as well too. And then this is not our particular office, but let's make sure that we're going out there and supporting our sister offices. Sue Murphy has a property at 6 Deep Valley Drive, Unit 114 in Rolling Hills that's available as well too. So let's go out there and support Sue with hers as well. Okay. All right, Daniel. We're going to have our Rapido signs. We want to thank you for sponsoring the breakfast. And if you want to come up and give a little presentation. He always brings the really good food, so let's make sure that we give a big round of applause for too. And then you got this.
I'm loud enough. Am I good?
Was that?
I'm loud enough.
Well, yeah, but then the people
got it.
can't
Okay.
hear you too. So there you go.
Sounds good. Thank you. Jaime with Rapido Signs. We are your local sign shop. We moved to Long Beach about a year ago. It's our 1-year anniversary. We've been doing this now for 20 years. We are Keller Williams approved vendor. We offer the widest selection of marketing material than any other sign company. We do have a walk-in store. If you guys are ever in need of, you have an emergency open house, you need frames open house signs, sign props, whatever you need, we have it in stock. You can just walk in. We're open on Saturdays from 9 to 1. We're the only shop open on Saturdays. Come pay us a visit. For sale signs, open house signs, banners, whatever you guys need. Okay? Very good. Yeah. We also offer the sign installation service. So when you guys order your for sale signs, we can store them for you at no cost. We'll create an account for you and you're able to request signs up and down from your phone. It's pretty convenient. So let us know if you're interested in the business. It's $43 and that covers it up and down for up to 6 months.
Okay.
And then the system keeps inventory of your signs of where they're at. And once you start running low, it'll kind of remind you, hey, you're running low on signs, time to reorder. So that way we're not playing hot potato with one sign, remove it from Victorville and go install it in Laguna Niguel or something. So yeah, that's what we got. Thank you. Short and sweet. Oh yeah, well, where the new agents at? We offer the new agents, we offer the first 500 cards for free. So it's on us. So ask Daniel for the order form and he'll be more than glad to give you that. Right? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Couple closings we want to celebrate. Lauren had a really nice one in Manhattan Beach, and then Young had one in LA. So congrats on those. And then John, congrats on the lease listing in Redondo. Looks like a great place as well too. So good job. All right, a lot of new listings popping up. So Charles and Yuki have a new listing in Grand Avenue in LA. It's about 1,280 square feet. List price is just a little under 1.4 for a nice condo. Marlene, you want to tell us a little bit about the property you got on Western? Yeah, so priced at 800 grand, list price 699.9. So a good opportunity to get some equity if clients looking for a property like that. Was it? Okay, cool. Cool. All right, thanks, Marlene. Next listing, David and Lori have one. I don't think David and Lori are on Zoom, are they?
I'm on
Okay.
Zoom. I'm
Oh.
on Zoom. I'm here.
Okay, Lori is on Zoom, so everybody be quiet and Daniel turn the volume up and Lori, tell us a little bit about this property.
This is in the Point Furman area, and it's walking distance right there to it's by Shepherd and Pacific. It's just a couple of units away. It's a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. With upstairs and downstairs, so you have nobody above you or below you. It's 1121 square feet. The HOA on this is 375, and it's been renovated and remodeled. So the pictures show very well. We have a broker's open tomorrow from 11 to 1 because it's San Pedro, obviously. And we'd love to see you there.
Lori, Maureen wants to know if there's a view.
There is not a view from the unit.
Okay.
It's the 5th one back. There's 6 units total in this HOA, and it's the second to the last one, so it's away from the main street.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you.
It's a gated, with a key access. And then subterranean parking, tandem parking below with storage area.
Oh, very good. Thank you, Lori.
Mhm.
All right. Next one, Daniel. Stephen, Cindy, you want to tell us a little bit about, tell us a little bit about the lease listing here. Okay.
downtown. It's completely remodeled. They took it down to the studs in 2020 and redeveloped the plumbing, HVAC, electrical. It's a gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a really great place for sure.
How much is it?
Or 20,000 a month for a lease. All right, Daniel. David, I don't believe is on Zoom, is he? Okay, so David Schwartz has a new property on Park Street in Torrance, 728 square feet. It's for a lease, 5,999 a month is what they're looking for. 2 beds, 1 bath, and then 1 car attached garage. So if you have anybody that's looking in Torrance, reach out to David. And then John, you want to tell us a little bit about the property in Long Beach?
Yeah, it's a cute little back house in the central area, and it's got that whole yard space dedicated to that too.
Cool. All right, thanks, John. Next one, Daniel. Oh, that was it. So upcoming classes and events, we do have a few really cool things that are coming up. So Daniel, let's go through and share some of those. RERM and Farmers Insurance is doing a insurance seminar on what's next in a catastrophic event. Obviously, we have got some stuff that's going on right now. And so this is going to be this Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. And that's going to be on Zoom, right, Daniel? Okay. So if you want to get some information on insurance, on some legal things, then this will be a really good, session to go into to find out a little bit more about how we can support our consumers through this time, right? All right. And then we have KWPV Ed Lab every Wednesday, except for tomorrow. All right. You see the lines that are crossed out on that one. So just want to remind everybody, our trainings are going to just basically always be on Wednesdays. And we do a session in the morning at basically 10:30, and that goes to noon. And then we take a half-an-hour lunch break, and then we go 12:30 to about 2 o'clock. So there's 2 different classes that are happening every Wednesday. And then basically whatever we teach on Wednesday, if it involves you implementing or taking action on something, if you need help taking action on that, say, for example, hey, I don't know how to do a mailer. John, you taught about mailers yesterday. Then come in on Thursdays, and then Daniel or Paige or I actually implement what you learn from Wednesdays. The reason why we're canceling tomorrow's is because there is going to be a 3 sister office special event that we'll talk in another slide coming up here, right? So our Ed Day tomorrow is canceled because so basically Marie Hoffman, who is the regional ambassador for KW Luxury for our region, and then Steve Epstein, who is in the California Central Southern region for Keller Williams. He's their regional ambassador for luxury. They're going to be co-presenting tomorrow at the KW South Bay. And basically, they're going to talk about how to build your luxury business and treat all your clients luxury clients. So it's going to be a class on how to basically build your luxury business out. And then also they'll be available a little bit about some of the resources and things that the KW luxury community has available to agents that are designated as luxury agents. And then they'll probably also talk to you a little bit how to actually get qualified to be a luxury agent as well too. Okay, so that is tomorrow. Not really a long time, from noon to 1:30, and that's going to be at KW South Bay. Just make sure that you scan the QR code to RSVP because they are going to get lunch, right? And if you show up and you didn't scan, then that really kind of sucks because maybe you're taking food away from somebody that actually registered, right? So make sure you register. Okay. All right, any questions on that? Cool. If commercials are jammed, I want to learn a little bit more about that. Just wanted to highlight that they're doing the KW Commercial SoCal meeting today, and that's via Zoom as well too. So Jason Dufault, who's our basically regional ambassador for the KW Commercial in our region, leads this call. and we're going to talk about updates and trends in the commercial real estate industry. And they have Rob Singh that's going to come on to talk a little bit about hospitality as well too. So Minnie and Jason and David Yashar are going to lead this Zoom call today at 1 o'clock. So if you have some interest in commercial stuff, make sure that you scan the code and hop on that as well. All right. He was able to convince him to do it. So, you know, our that we do on Fridays, we always interview somebody. And so this week I'm going to be interviewing Marty Miller. If you don't know some of you guys probably do, especially if you like worked on command stuff, because Marty is probably one of the most famous KW YouTube personalities because he's the 66-day challenge command videos. And he's also been a regional technology trainer like myself. I've known Marty for a long time. And then currently he is an OP in the Houston area and also is a MAPS coach as well too. So super knowledgeable guy, really smart. Going to be my guest this Friday. So make sure that you join us for producers on Zoom. Okay. We have family reunion coming up. Again, Gary's throwing a big birthday party for me. So if you guys want to come and join me for my birthday, it's the family reunion kicks off on my actual birthday. All right. So Jason Abrams, Gary Keller, Jay Popson, Mark Willis, along with a lot of really other great speakers. Plus, it's going to be in Vegas if you like Vegas. I actually personally don't like Vegas. Vegas, a lot of people do, right? A really good opportunity. Tickets are on sale right now at a discount, but they are going up like in a week or something like that. So right now they're like $10.99. They're going to go $12.99 like next week, something along those lines. Okay. All right, Danny. Yeah, $12.99, and that's actually on Thursday. So you got until midnight on Thursday to get your tickets if you want to go. Otherwise, you could still go. It's just going to cost $200 more, right? And I would rather save that $200 to go out, throw on the tables. Maybe you get some of that money back. Happy hour is actually coming up this Thursday. We did the happy hour for the first time at Rob's place at the Tap House rather than at the Red Onion like we have been doing. And Rob really kind of threw out the red carpet for us. If you guys don't know Rob Winning is one of our agents here, but he also is the owner of the Tap House. And so just really good time. Got to hang out and you know, a lot of our agents were able to go and have a really good time out on the patio at Rob's place. So Tap House, if you don't know where it's at, it's in the Golden Cove Shopping Center, right across from where the Trader Joe's is out, right? So like literally across the parking lot from Trader Joe's. And so that'll be from 4 to about 7 o'clock. Rob's got heat lamps that are outside, so we hung out outside, nice evening, and then if it's a little cold, you got the heat lamps as well too.
He also wanted to let you guys know that every day on Thursday from 4 to 6, it's pretty much $2 off.
Yeah. So and go support our fellow KW agents. Going to hang out at a really cool spot. Yeah, his food's amazing, right? His sliders. Yeah, so good.
So figure for this year's Super Bowl, so I will be there if anyone wants to join me.
Yeah, so this is Daniel's slide because Daniel invite all you guys to hang out with him at Rob's place. If you got nowhere else to go on Super Bowl Sunday, you can go hang out there, right? He's got a lot of screen TVs there too, so very cool. All right, career night. We are having our next career night next Wednesday. I changed the slides now. So it is next Wednesday, and that'll be here in person from 6 to 8 p.m. So if you know anybody that's looking to get into real estate or is kind of questioning it or doesn't know how to start, basically it's just the informational set on how to get going. Plus, we talk about the free schooling program that we have that's available for people that are looking to get in as well too. So that's 6 to roughly 8-ish. Won't go over, probably it'll end before 8 o'clock. And that's next Wednesday here. Okay. In addition to that, if you do know somebody that wants to get into the business, if you want to just use that QR code, that basically it has a form that they could fill out, and then that information automatically gets dropped into my CRM, so I know to reach out to those people as well too. Yeah. All right, and now without further ado, a little bit longer than normal, but Dustin has some really great info to drop on us today, so I wanted to give him plenty of time to be able to. There's this as well. So that way people at home can hear what you have to say.
Sure.
Right.
Morning, everybody. So today's a little bit longer just because I'm going to share with you guys the forecast for myself and team for what we're predicting is going to happen in 2025 with mortgage interest rates as well as with real estate. What's this thing that we're going to get to a crystal ball? The reason why it'll be just a little bit longer than my 90 seconds just because I'm going to actually explain how I got there in making these predictions to not only ground them for you, but to help you guys educate you, inform you about it. And then when it's done, if you would like a copy of this, just simply text me. I'd be honored to send it to you. And we can either do a one-on-one, explain it further for an in-depth understanding of your side, and then how to help. Okay, so let's go. On the next slide. Okay, so the thing that we're going to cover is the Fed. So we're going to do the Fed, and then we're going to cover inflation, and then we're going to cover the labor market, and then bring it all full circle. The Fed's ambition, they want to, if we continue into the next slide, is have two mandates. One, they want to keep inflation as low as possible, right? They don't want to have costs going up, and they also want to have maximum employment. And have you ever heard of the dot plot? Right, exactly. Someone said, what? Right. Okay, so there's a lot of this thrown around, but no one really explains what it is. So this is all 19 members. Think of each dot as a person, okay? And this is what they've actually shared in a dot plot. So this is the plot where how many drops they're going to do in interest rates for 2025, okay? So there's a number that thinks that we're not going to change rates at all throughout the entire year, doesn't even want to bother. There's three that think there'll be a quarter drop. They're up for doing a quarter drop. Basically, more that think, no, we'll probably do three. One that thinks 3.375, so a full point. And then someone down here is really super aggressive and wanting to decrease the federal funds rate by 1.25. That makes sense? Okay, so with all of that in mind, this is our prediction. And there will be anywhere between 3 to 4 drops throughout 2025. And in the this is we're looking at is their forecast rate. Okay, so right now they think it's going to be between 4.5%. It's fresh, and employment actually dropped to 4.1%. Everybody know that? Okay, what's rabbit hole I'll take you down? What's good news? Employment rate going down sounds like good news, right? That's bad news for the economy. Because it's basically saying that it's still overheated, people are making money, they're going to spend more, which goes what? A little bit of pain there. And so 4.3, this is where those 10 members are that we talked about on that last slide. And then here's another 5 that actually think that unemployment is going to go to 4.4 to 4.5. Well, you guys, from 4.1, 4.2 to 4.6, 4.7 is a half a point. It's not that much. And even if we saw unemployment increase just a really small amount, people are like, have more, slide into the far left here where there's 4.6, all of them will be like, we were wrong. They're going to go back to the drawing board and redesign the jobs they would anticipate for the rest. Make sense? Okay. If it doesn't, just say no. Honestly, I'd love to explain more. Okay, good. I'm glad that means you're doing the job right. Okay, next slide. Right. You can call me on that. Next slide. I don't know, just going to the next slide. Yeah. Okay. So we talked about what the Fed has 2 mandates: inflation, jobs, right? So if we talk about inflation first and going to the next slide, this is what I was concerned about when I talked this morning, Daniel. So I'm going to move. This is my first presentation with you guys on this PowerPoint. It's getting a little raw. So 2.8%. Click the next button. Year over year as of November. That is where inflation is right now. And the next button. So shelter makes up for 18% of or PCE. PCE is the cost of goods that we purchase. Okay, so 18% of the inflation report is is just shelter. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's up 4.8% on a year-over-year basis. And then next button you're going to click. The reason why we have a problem with this is because the data that they're getting is from a bunch of other government bureaucracies. And you can imagine how long it takes for them to produce this information. I don't mean to poo-poo on them, but they will even actually tell you that it takes 9 months as a lag component for it to catch up. So they're saying on a 9-month lag that it's actually up 4.8%. But if you look at real time right now, like the companies like CoreLogic, which is pretty big, they're saying that the rent index is only up by 1.7% on a year-over-year basis, and they don't take into consideration hotels, right? Shelter does take that into consideration up here. So if we press the button again.
They don't.
Correct. So at 4.8% in the PCE versus 1.7% from CoreLogic, there's a 3.1% overstatement. Click the button again, Daniel. And based on that, if we were to basically divide this into 18, that means that the feds are off on their inflation data by 0.5 percentage point. So click the next button. Core PCE should be about 2.3% without the lag that we're seeing in shelter. So on the next slide, help is on the way. So this actually shows up for you guys. January is where we're at, right? January 2024. If you click the button again, we're going to be going into January 2025. Shelter component versus the core. You can see on a month-over-month basis. Actually, if you can't see, I'll change this to black. These numbers are these are higher from last year, and these numbers are lower. So if we go into the next slide, this is something I think that's really important to drive home with you guys. A lot of you already know this. It's going to sound obvious, but for some of you it won't. When people tout about how inflation is coming down, it's something to celebrate, right? Okay, yeah, but don't forget, what's the difference between these lines? Okay, so the red line is what is happening with inflation on a monthly basis. And it's volatile. With the blue line is inflation constant. Back here, this goes back really far, 1985, all the way through current time, 2024 at the end, we've seen a pretty significant increase in inflation. And even though this number is low, coming back to the Fed's goal of 2%, this is still how much goods are costing. This is why consumers are complaining about things being more expensive. That, even if it comes down, that's not coming down. It never will, unless we have a recession. Then you could start to see some small dips in these lines here. So next slide. That was just something I wanted to share with you guys off the cuff. So now we're going to talk about labor. That's the second component, right? So next slide. This is basically showing that the unemployment rate is rising. So from January 2023 to November of 2024, when we put all this together, we've seen a steady increase. It was 3.4%. Now it is at 4.1%. And so when we talk about how hot, yes, however, we're still seeing the numbers with a consistent trend of slowly edging upwards. And so on the next slide, this is interesting. So just in the last 7 months, people that have been laid off that are receiving benefits on a month-over-month basis, you can do that for. It's increased by 21%. Okay, that's pretty significant. Press again. Store. I'll change it. Closings are up 20% from 2023 to 2024. You've got City, CVS, Walgreens. I'm just naming a few. Macy's. These hundreds of stores that have announced they're closed. Now they haven't closed yet, but they're going to close. Right. So you guys see where I'm going here? It's like, okay, yeah, you think unemployment's going to only increase by 0.2%? I'm not sure because, I mean, how many employees does Macy's have per store? So I driving point around my claims. In the next slide. Job openings and labor statistics. It's clearly declining. So you can see from January of 22, basically into current now, we've seen job openings decrease 12 million, and this number is still way too hot, meaning it's, from my personal point of view, not real. On the way up here, actually, I was listening to a podcast. The Wall Street Journal came out with an article about how part of the data for is just seeing how many job openings come up on monster.com. Is that monster.com? That's a job, right? Okay, so 22% of them are suspected as fake. JOLTS pulls that data from websites like that. Or well, how about this? If it's remote work in California, they will post that job in multiple other states. That's multiple jobs. Okay, so it's really actually, we think, lower than 7.7, but this shows you just on what the trend and how it's happening, right? So in the next slide, now we're going to be talking about, okay, mortgage interest rates. We'll just because you've heard about this recurrently. So in the next slide, where we could see mortgage rates go, you guys know that I always say that mortgage interest rates follow the 10-year bond. Why? Because the average American household stays in their house for how long? It is 10 years. It was 9. It's 10 years now. So the spread between the market and a 30-year fixed interest should continue to narrow. What we're saying in that is that interest rates in October of last year were what? 8%, right? Why? Because all banks in the bond markets knew that rates were going to be coming down at some point in the next year or two. So we got to make sure we earn our premiums up front. We know they're going to refinance out of that loan. It's a 30-year fixed loan. We're probably only going to hold it for 1.5 to 2 years. So again, okay. So after 30-year fixed, when I talk about spread, this is where the banks make money. It's in between these green lines. You guys see how the bond market's kind of, this is 25 years, okay? In October of 23, when interest rates were at 8%, they were making 3% profit. That's huge. It should be right at about 2% to 2.25. Currently, right, it's 2.5. So we are seeing that compression. This is a good thing. Next slide. Where can we see our interest rates? Like the 10-year treasury, we think this is the benchmark. Refinance now, but those loans are already done, right? They'll stay put, spreading the narrow switch, straight average of, clicking the button again, Daniel. 30-year fixed rate mortgage between 5.75 to 6%. That is what we predict is going to happen by the end of this year. And the next slide, this is the part that you guys will take interest in. So let's say you take interest in everything, right? But this is specific, like what you do, right? All right, so next slide. Okay, so this is stuff that's overwhelming. Don't let it be. Okay, so look at the housing. We have 136 million households. Of 45 million are rented, and 91 million people own the balance. The total equity of the people that rent? That's right. Everyone knows why, right? Okay, owned 37 trillion. Average per it's a lot higher than that. 37 trillion. You guys, how many zeros are in $1 trillion? 12. You spent $1 million every single day. When you started with $1 trillion and you ran out of money today, you would have had to have started spending money in 700 BC before Jesus was born. It's a lot of money, right? We've never had much equity. So to be clear, how many of them? 35 million. It's $20 trillion, average of 571,000. Mortgaged homes, 56 million. Negative equity is $1 million. You guys, this number was 25% of all homes in 2008. That is not a lot. That is very small. Oh, right. $300 million is in negative equity for all homes in the United States. That is like a fraction of 0.25%. That is whoop, whoop. That is good to keep values stable. Just here, free and clear. I think this is important for you. What my takeaway out of being printed on here or showing you pictures is basically for homes that are free and clear, there are a lot of if interest rates go up or down. No, they're totally unaffected by the market. So in the next slide. Demographics is right. So this is another one that I will change from white to black. So I have here. So basically, boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Gen Z. Their current age brackets, the population among each one of them. Homeownership rate is 74% for baby boomers. For Gen X, most people in this room, it's 65%. Millennials is 65 and 8. These two columns are blank on purpose because as you click the button down, click it one more time. Millennials, 73 million total. Median age right now is 35%. To a total figure of 8.5 million people during the next 10 years. So that's really significant because if you click the button again, Gen Z, homeownership is 8%. One more time, should go to another 17 or 25%. So between the millennials and Gen Z, there's going to be a lot of activity. There's a lot of household formations, people coming of age, because one thing we can't do is stop age, right? Growing, aging, right? The boomers, as they pass away, where are their houses going? Their kids, that's right, their grandkids. And what might they do with it? All kinds of things, right? I'm not saying that we should say everyone's going to do everything, but I think a couple things that are going to create a lot of wealth and a lot of activity over the next 5 years is based in the transfer of wealth from the boomer generation to the younger generations, number one. Number two, crypto. A lot of crypto is owned by the younger generations, and it is doing phenomenally well. And that's a rabbit hole we can go down another time. But they're looking to spend a lot of their profits. Maybe it's upgrading a house or taking money to pay off debt. A lot of the things I think influence the housing market as we go forward over the next 5 years. So on the next slide, what are we looking at here? Okay, active listings. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no more. Yep. Right. This one. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so housing starts 1.2 million. These are how many houses are coming into the market across the United States. This is important to show with you guys because you can see it's been in a pretty consistent range and has been over the last 25 years, right? Okay, and the next slide. Okay, this is demand. This is how many household formations are currently in existence right now. It's simply, if we click the button again, a supply and demand issue. The reason why prices continue to rise amongst higher interest rates, I mean, we've seen inventory continue to move even at 7.5%, 8%. We have. Why is because there's more demand than there is supply of homes, and that is going to continue in the foreseeable future because even as new homes come on the market, one thing I know about this whole area as far as Southern California is concerned, we have a limited amount of what? Land, right? And the ability to build out. Yep. Into the next slide, I think is, yeah, here we go. One more. Whoa, are we for real? Click that button one more time. One more time. One more time. Should be it. Okay, so here's what I said to you guys in summary. 2025 housing forecast. My report is that we should see home appreciation between 4 to 4.5%. We should see inflation decrease from 2.8 to 2.1. Unemployment should go up to 4.5 to 4.6. And the federal funds rate, I believe, currently at 4.75 is going to decrease to right about 3.5%. The real estate side, 2025, we did just 4.1% year over year, which I think is a very conservative number for LA County. I really, really do. As consideration of the fires that have taken place, we're going to see higher than that. If we did just an average sales price of $800,000, that's a $32,800 gain in 1 year. Cumulative over the next 5 years, 30 to 35%. That means that there could be between $240,000 to $280,000 of wealth just in the aspect of appreciation on a house. More houses are expected to sell in 2020. As interest rates come down, how many more people qualify when interest rates decrease by 1% for everyone that's heard me? 5 million people, that's right. For every 1% that rates come down, well, I got them right there. All right, Maureen gets one. We'll do a second scratcher. How much does 1% decrease in interest rates mean in purchasing power for the average person? How much more house can you buy with a 1% decrease in interest rates? No. It's 6.25 and you're the closest one. So that works. But that is why we think that we're going to continue to see and also sales in 2005 increase because as interest rates decrease, we'll see more people. That's my presentation. I am happy to email this to you guys. If you want it, just text me. I'll send you whatever you want. If you have a conversation about it, I'm happy to. These are things that we talk about with your clients and not only having a strategy session for what to qualify for, but also what it would look like when they refinance in the years to come. Meaning that, okay, at 7%, your payment's going to be $5,000, but when we see interest rates decrease down to 6%, that's going to save you $386 a month, which adds up to $4,000 a year. This is the strike rate. So we're actually going to already have two files. We're going to have your purchase file, then we're going to have your refinance file. Everything's going to be done. So it doesn't matter if you're on vacation with your kids or if you're at a business conference. All of this is teed up. All we have to do is snap our fingers when it comes. We automatically watch it for you. These are some of the things that we do for your clients. Any questions you got? No? So the one request I have is if you this, just your email me. I'll make sure you, okay? Onwards and upwards. Have a great day, everybody. You're welcome. It was a lot of work. We got it.
Demand stuff that we were talking about. How do you think the fires, if any, are gonna affect some of that? Because obviously, fires destroyed a lot of potential inventory that's out there.
Yeah. Are you guys doing a lot of